Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie. Today I'm going to be bringing you a one brand tutorial slash first impressions on everything that I'm wearing on my face today. I'm going to be reviewing everything that I bought from the brand called E.L.F. So if you're interested in everything and how everything worked, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so the first product I'm going to be using is this E.L.F. brow pencil, and I believe it's in the darkest shade of brown that you can get it. I've never used this product before. I like the tip, it's nice and pointy. I got my eyebrows threaded today and they kind of missed some spots up here. And they always ask me like if it looks okay whenever they're done, but by the time they're done, my eyes are so watery and my skin is so irritated that I'm just like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Can I just go now? So I didn't even see that. I really like this pencil so far. It's not too waxy and it's not too creamy. It's really good. I guess the only complaint about it is that this is not as small as I would prefer it to be, and it makes it a little difficult to get right here in the front of my brow. But so for eyes, I'm going to be using the E.L.F. HD Lifting Concealer in the shade Light, and we're going to start by prepping our eyes for our eyeshadow. So let me just take this out of the package. I've never used this before. I really like that it's like a clear packaging. It's just super simple and I really like this. So far so good, but let's see what it looks like on the eyes. And it has a nice little applicator. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set some down as a base for my concealer. And this was the lightest shade, and honestly, this is really dark. And I wasn't able to buy the beauty sponge that they had because they ran out, and I even asked the Target employees if they had any more in the back and they were like, no. So I was like, okay. So we're just gonna use my very, very dirty L'Oreal makeup sponge. So let's pick a clean side. So this concealer is blending out really nicely and I don't mind it. To set my eyelids, I'm gonna go ahead and use this E.L.F. HD setting powder. So far the packaging is really nice. Oh, okay. It comes with like a little sifter. So half of it has holes and half of it doesn't, so that when you're not using it, you can just close it where the holes are and it won't get anywhere. That is so clever. Tap some of it into the cap, and I'm gonna take my beauty sponge and I'm just gonna put some on the tip of it and set my eyelids. So moving on to eyeshadow, I'm gonna be using this eyeshadow quad in the style Blushing Beauty. So it just has 4 shades and it has a base, a lid, a crease, and a line shade. I'm not too sure what line means, so we'll kind of figure it out. And it comes with this little sponge brush thing that I'm never going to use in my life. I'm going to be taking the crease shade, and on a fluffy brush I'm just going to place that right in the crease. So since I'm not seeing too much of that shade, I'm going to go in with this E.L.F. Duo. It's a bronzer and a blush, so I'm going to take the bronzer and just dip that into my crease. And now I see something. Moving on, I'm going to build up my crease with the line shade. So let's see how this works. And I'm just going to tap it off so that I don't pick up too much product. So now I'm going to put that like on the outer portion of my eye. I'm not loving these eyeshadows, guys. They're not that good. And I've heard that other eyeshadows by E.L.F. are really good, but they didn't have any of the big palettes that had like 10 or 12 shades. So, and with a clean fluffy brush, I'm just gonna blend everything together so that it doesn't look so harsh. And I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera too often. I'm just trying to really concentrate on what I'm doing so that I don't mess up. So now that we've placed that darker brown shade in the outer corner portion of the eye, we're going to go ahead and move on to the lid, and I'm going to use the shade that says lid on it. I'm going to be taking a baby wipe and I'm making my brush wet so that it picks up more product, because I know for a fact that this shade won't be as pigmented without the extra help. So I'm going to take that shade. This is actually really pretty. I feel like the more product I place, the patchier it gets. Like, the pigment is not consistent. Like, I definitely see some patches throughout my lid. So let me try using my finger. Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm removing any fallout that could have happened while applying the eyeshadow. So moving on from the eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and use this Aqua primer mist as my primer, obviously, and then I'm gonna use it also to set my face. And I just drowned myself. I'm gonna be using this Flawless Finish foundation in the shade Buff, and it's oil free. It has SPF 15, which is always a good thing. So I'm gonna take it out of the packaging. Oh my god, this looks really dark. Okay, so now I'm taking my L'Oreal sponge and I'm just buffing it all out and hoping for the best at this point. Even though this foundation is not my shade, obviously, it has a really, really nice finish to it. So I think if I just bought the lightest shade possible that they have and just mixed it in with this one, it'll create the right shade. But the finish of this foundation is definitely not matte, and it's definitely not like a dewy finish. It's just really natural. It looks really skin-like, so I appreciate that. And I wouldn't say it's very full coverage either. It's definitely a light coverage foundation. I'm sure if you build it up, it would be a little more full coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and brighten and conceal with my concealer that I used earlier, and we're just gonna put that all down here. This concealer is blending out pretty nicely. It is a very dark shade, even though this is the lightest shade there was. It's not too bad though. I like how it's blending out, and it has a really nice finish to it. And it's like a light to medium coverage, I'd say. Now we're gonna move on and set it with the same HD powder that I used in the beginning to set my eyelids. So I'm just gonna set my eyelids with that powder. So now I'm just gonna set the rest of my face using the same powder with this E.L.F. large Kabuki flat top brush. I'm gonna dip into the same duo, the blush and the bronzer. And I have used this bronzer and blush before, and I really love it. So for blush, I'm just gonna take the blush that comes in this duo, and I'm going in with a fluffy Wet n Wild brush. So now I'm gonna move on to mascara, and I'm gonna use this Lengthening and Volumizing mascara, and it's in just the typical black shade. So let's see how this works, and it's supposed to lengthen and volumize my lashes, so let's see what it looks like. So far I can tell that it does lengthen my lashes, and it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. Just the wand being so small, it makes it really difficult to just do this super quick, and it makes it just a little more time consuming than it has to be, but it's really not that bad for what you're paying for. I'm gonna dip it in one more time. I think that's about as good as my lashes are gonna get. Now I'm gonna move on to lashes. So I did pick up these lashes, and it just says Natural Lash Kit, and there were like more dramatic ones, but those just looked a little too dramatic for me. So let's see. Just feeling them, they feel very plasticky. I use lashes regularly, so I'm kind of familiar with how other lashes feel, and these compared to other ones, they feel very, very fake. So for example, like the Kiss lashes, Salon Perfect lashes, Ardell, Allure, all of those feel very hair-like, I guess you could say, but these just feel very just plasticky and cheap. But we'll see what this feels like. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on, and I'll be right back. So lashes are on, and I'm very, very surprised at how like pretty these look. Like, they don't look that bad. I mean, if you feel them, They don't feel like your typical lash. They do feel kind of cheap, but these lashes were only $2, so you really can't complain. So now we're gonna go on and finish the eyes, and I'm gonna do the lower lash line. So I'm just applying some mascara on the lower lashes. And I feel like this mascara is a lot better for the lower lashes, being that it's so small. It makes it really easy to get in between all of your lashes. So, I mean, there's some use out of this, I guess. And to finish off the base, I'm going to go ahead and apply this highlighter, and it is the ever so famous Moonlight Pearls highlighter, and it goes around YouTube like crazy. So what I've heard that you need to do is you have to scrape off the top layer so that you can really get like the full pigment of the product. So I've already done that. So I'm going to go ahead and wet my brush and apply the highlighter. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure if the camera is picking up this highlight or not, but in person, it's really pretty. I'm really impressed with this. So to finish off the look, I'm going to be using this lipstick, and it's in the shade Praline, and it's one that I already had, so let's hope it looks okay with this look. So now that we're all done with the lips, and again, that was just in the shade Praline, I'm going to highlight my brow bone, because I completely forgot to do that. And I usually like to match my regular, like the one I'm using on my cheekbones, I like to match it with the one I'm going to use in my brow bone and inner corners of my eyes. So, oh my god, this is so pretty. I'm so glad I bought this. I almost didn't buy it because I told myself, like I was trying to convince myself that I don't need another highlight, but you can never have too many highlights. So to finish off the entire look, I'm going to go ahead and set my base using the same Aqua mist that we used in the beginning of the video. So this is the completed look, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm so happy with a lot of the products that I did try out. One of those including the foundation. It did oxidize, which means it did change colors as I was wearing it. So it looks like it's about my shade now, and it might be because of the powders and the bronzing and all of that stuff. So I feel like while I did the rest of my makeup, everything started to settle in and kind of look my shade. So as far as the foundation, I absolutely love the finish of it. It just looks very natural and skin-like. The eyeshadows were okay. I had to work with them a little bit, but looking at the completed look now, I feel pretty happy about it. The shadow look doesn't look as bad as I thought it did in the beginning of the video. The mascara, I liked it for the lower lashes. The setting powder did have flashback, major flashbacks, so that means whenever I took a picture with flash, I could see a white cast around my whole face. So I would not want that white cast all over my face if I were to take a picture and I had this powder on. So I will probably be very cautious of when I do use this powder, but I did like it for the most part. It made my skin really smooth. Oh, and I also liked the eyebrow pencil, and I've already had this lip product, so this worked out really well for me. The highlighter, oh my god, it was so good. I'm so happy that I bought this highlighter. It was in the shade Moonlight Pearls. And don't forget that if you do go out and buy this highlight, you do have to scrape off the top layer to get the maximum pigment. So I really like this, and I feel like I'm missing something. The blush and bronzer I have used before on my channel, and I really like this. The primer spray was also really good. It just shoots out kind of forcefully, so if you are going to use it, make sure to extend your hand as far back as you possibly can. And as far as the primer, I feel like it did a really good job as far as my makeup adhering to the mist and to my face. And when setting my face, I feel like it really did melt everything into the skin. So it doesn't look really powdery or anything like that. So I'm going to continue to use this just to keep testing it out and to see if I still like it. So I hope you guys liked this first impression / one brand tutorial using everything E.L.F. And I'm sorry that I couldn't use the brushes that E.L.F. has. There were just so many, and I honestly couldn't afford to buy like all of the brushes that I needed. So I just used what I have, and I hope you guys liked it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!